Yes. Okay, sir. In last week, just very 5 minutes, very quick summary I will give. Especially in last Saturday and Sunday, we have discussed about data engineer responsibilities. And second thing, what are the products available for data engineer in Azure? Azure data engineer products we have discussed. So what products basically we have here?
Azure Data Factory, Databricks,
ADF,
Synapse Analytics,
Synapse Analytics,
Databricks,
Azure Databricks,
Azure Data Lake,
Data Lake as storage. Simply say data Lake Analytics. What is the NoSQL database here for us?
Azure Cosmos DB.
Cosmos DB,
Cosmos DB.
Azure Streaming.
And also one more product for capturing the streams and performing analytics for streams. Azure Streaming. Still any other products?
Azure SQL.
Azure Data Factory.
Okay, Azure SQL is not like a data engineer product. This is OLTP database.
Inside.
Okay. Yeah.
Data Factory.
Data Factory is first one. ADF. ADF means data factory.
USQL.
USQL comes under Data Lake Analytics Service. That is USQL. Okay. So where
Azure Analysis Service.
Under Azure Analysis Services, two things will be there. All these things comes under Azure Analysis Service. Okay.
HD Insight.
HD Insights for Hadoop. Okay.
Logica.
Logica for functioning. Yeah. So in this way, we have different products. Already we have taken a
Azure Studio.
Pardon?
Azure Studio.
Studio is regular for all, not only for particular to the data engineer. That is for all. Yeah. So these are the basic products of Azure Data Engineer. Okay. Still, we will be using other third-party tools also at the time of working. And after that, finally, we have simply discussed about USQL. Okay, to process the Azure Data Lake storage. Now today, just a briefing of the Azure Data Lake. How exactly the Azure Data Lake will work. What is Azure Data Lake? We will see. So for a few minutes, I will unmute you, sir. I will mute you. Again, after that, I will unmute you.
Sir, there was a question.
Sir, please keep the question in mind. Don't forget that question. Just after unmuting you, please ask me.
Sure.
Just 10 minutes, I will go for the explanation. Don't worry about notes. Okay, after that, the recorded session will be shared to you. From that, you please prepare notes. Azure Data Lake is one of the important service in Azure, especially for data engineering. It has two products. Number one, Azure Data Lake Storage. And number two, Azure Data Lake Analytics. So in short names, we call it as ADLS. The second one, we call it as ADLA, Azure Data Lake Analytics. See, the high level picture of this lake will be like this. First, you have the main purpose of this one is storage and analytics. To perform analytics, first storage should be done. The advantage of this storage, advantage number one, unlimited data storage. Even data volume is multi-terabytes or petabytes, not a problem. Any volume of data that you can store into this one. And second advantage with this, all varieties of data processing. What are the different varieties of the data? If you talk about the varieties like structured, unstructured, and semi-structured. Unstructured and semi-structured. And also it allows you all formats of data or for all types of files. That means you can say formats of files. So example for these formats, you can say .csv files, TSV. Okay. Still even compressed files like zip, Parquet, etc. So these are the three basic advantages you are getting with data lake storage. But data lake storage will be running on top of HDFS file system only. So here HDFS file system, already you know in Hadoop, the backend file system is HDFS, Hadoop distributed file system. In Azure Data Lake as a backend, internally Azure uses HDFS, but you need not to use HDFS directly. Got it? To work with that HDFS file system, Azure uses Web HDFS API. On top of the storage, we have service called analytics service. Okay, these analytics can be performed with two ways. The service number one is ADLA. That means Azure Data Lake Analytics, Azure Data Lake Analytics service. See here, to perform your analytics, you use USQL. USQL means Unified SQL. So Unified SQL is combination of SQL and C#. But don't worry that you know C# or not, it doesn't matter. Okay. Once you know basic programming control structures and basic SQL statements, you can easily learn this USQL. After a few minutes, you will see the practical part of USQL, how the shape and how to execute that one you will be knowing. And second one, the analytics can be performed with the Databricks also. Same Databricks in Azure, that is Azure Databricks. After our few sessions and after completion of few sessions of prerequisites like Python, we will step into Azure Databricks. So here Azure Databricks is a Spark platform. Here especially we will be using PySpark. That means Python plus Spark is called PySpark. So you can observe these two layers. Number one, storage. Number two, analytics. In this way, Azure is offering you two services, not only for storage, and also you can perform the analytics. That means the data, and also you can perform data processing over that one. Okay. So for just few minutes, I will unmute you.
Sir, in AWS, there are services like multi-part upload and all for big files.
Yes.
So is there something there in Azure as well?
Yeah, here actually in Azure, we have additional data migration tools.
Okay.
Okay. Using that, you can upload from like on-premise data to cloud premise. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So
Sir,
yeah.
What is this web HDFS API?
This is one API. With this API, a web application can interact with HDFS file system. But here you need not to use this API. Internally, Azure platform will use that API for the storage related, for the storage and for the processing of the data.
Sir,
Okay.
what is a basic difference between a Parquet and a table if we store?
Yeah. So it's not right time to discuss about the Parquet now. Okay. So think that is one of the compressed till now. Just one brief word for the Parquet is a compressed file with in the style of columnar storage system, columnar storage file.
Okay.
Okay. So later, once we step into the Spark, I will explain what are all the different other formats. What is the difference between a sequence file system and a Parquet file system? What other advantages we are getting with the Parquet? Once we step into that Azure Databricks at the time of Spark, I will explain that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Now let's.
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Where does Delta Lake fit in? I understand that it's Delta Lake is basically a storage format, correct? So does that
Yes.
Also get incorporated in this ADLS?
Yes. So not in ADLS, that is incorporated in Databricks, Azure Databricks.
So that is more related to the DBFS.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. Correct. Actually, Delta Lake is running on top of Data Lakes. Delta Lakes are running on top of HDFS. Okay.
Okay.
So
do you have, are you done explaining or is it question time?
Yes, please.
No, I just want to know if you're done explaining or you're still explaining, you're presenting still what the stuff that you're coming forth.
Yes, definitely I will be explaining that Data Lake.
No. What I'm saying is basically, are you still, because people are asking questions and I'm thinking that you're not done explaining.
Okay.
So I'm just hoping that you can finish and then let the man finish so then we can ask questions after.
Yes. It's a good idea. All of you, please cooperate. Only the current topic related questions you please ask me. So after completion of this session, again, I will give you time. First, let me go ahead. Let me go ahead with whatever the content I want to deliver. Okay. So now let's start working with USQL. Already in last session, I have briefed about it. So before first we step into that USQL, one simple practical example, we will see how to create your storage account. I'm coming to the portal. Simply portal.azure.com. Already I have account in this. If you don't have account, you can easily create that. Okay. Here, what are the steps to create this account? Especially for the, I'm targeting this time, I'm targeting new guys. In Azure, we have a lot of resources. But to create those resources, suppose you talk about ADF is one resource. Synapse is one resource. Databricks is one resource. In this way, you have many resources. Data engineer related, non-data engineer related, a lot of resources are there. But every resource should be under a resource group. So here the first step, you have to create resource group. An example for this resource group, suppose my resource group name is analytics. Within this analytics, I will add resources. The resources like ADF. Second resource is Data Lake. Third resource might be Azure SQL, like this. What is the advantage of this resource group? easily I can manage my resources. Okay. Easily I can monitor my resources and easily I can manage my resources. And also I can even optimize my billings also. So that's why before adding any resource, first of all, there should be one component, that is a resource group, the name, anything that you can give. Okay, now one simple task we will do for that. All of you observe my screen. In the left side blade, you have option called resource group here. Okay, just I'm clicking on that. All these are existed resource groups. I'm going to create a new one for you. The resource group name. The resource group name I'm giving as demo. Demo analytics or demo storage. Okay. And we need to select the region. Azure has data centers more than 58 regions across the world. So what is the advantage of region? For example, I'm Indian. If I connect with the Indian region, okay, easily I can access all my resources I can easily control the traffic. For example, if I select USA region, I'm connecting from India. So maybe traffic might be delayed. Suppose you have a biggest organization, you have some group of customers at India, some group of customers at USA, some other group of customers in some other region. Now you want to switch, you want to route your users, all USA users to be connected with the USA sources and all Indian customers to be connected with Indian sources on that way. So finally it gives high performance for you. And also major advantage is, suppose if I keep my resources in multiple regions, if one region got down, suppose if any disaster happened, still my sources will be available in other regions. That's why for now, simply I am selecting one of the region. Okay, let's keep it as the East US only. After this, come down. I'm here, 1 minute. I could not able to down the screen. Yeah. All of you check in the bottom, sir. There is a button called Review plus Create. Click on that button. Now, finally, I am creating this resource group. So what is the resource group name we have given? Is demo storage. Okay, the resource group is created. Just click that resource group. Now to this resource group, you can add your resources. Okay, I will name it. What the resource group name we have said? Demo storage. Now for this, I'm going to add analytics service, data lake analytics service. Any resource if you want to add, just click on this create button. A lot of resources are available. You want to check, there is a search bar for you. Just search like data lake. Look at here, the third option, data lake analytics. One more point here. We need to create 2 accounts. Number 1 for analytics, data lake analytics. Number 2 for data lake storage. If it is data lake storage, you have two things, Gen 1 and Gen 2. Gen 2 is latest. What is the difference between Gen 1 and Gen 2? In our next sessions, I will explain. For now, I am going to create with Gen 1 storage account, and I will create one data lake analytics account. Okay. See, once again, I'm doing the search data lake. Here I have data lake analytics. It is asking me some information. So here it is not asking anything. I'm just clicking on this data lake analytics, create button. Already I'm into resource group demo storage. So I have like here two types of subscriptions are available. One is pay as you go. Second one is free trial. Already I'm using pay as you go model. Look at the second phase of the information. Asking me service name. Let's say service name as ADL 700 I am giving. Any name you can give. All of you observe here. Below to that box, some URI is generated for you. adl700.azuredataanalytics.net. With this URI, within the Azure and out of the Azure applications can access our analytics service. In later concepts, we will see how other applications, that means other than non-Azure applications, how they can access this one, how to integrate these things. Later in integrations parts, we can discuss about it. So location, okay, any location that you can choose. This data lake analytics is not available in all the regions, only available in these 4 regions. I'm selecting this East US 2. My storage subscription, pay as you go. But look at the last one, last option. It is asking me storage account. The storage account is mandatory for our analytics account. But I did not create a previously I did not create any storage account. That's why here I have an option, create new. Just click on that. Okay, same name I am giving to avoid the confusion. ADL700 is the name for my storage account, but URI is different. All of you, please observe that URI. adl700.azuredatalakestore.net. Okay, so this is the URI we have generated now. Now I'm going to click on add button. Storage account is created now. That account is added here. So here there is an option for pricing package. Number 1, pay as you go. Number 2, monthly commitment. When to go for what? A simple explanation. Suppose if I have a clarity, daily I am getting 5 terabyte of data and daily 100 jobs are going to run. If I have this kind of fixed clarity, to reduce my cost, I can go for monthly commitment. Okay, I can go for monthly commitment. Suppose I don't have clarity. My data inflow is completely up and downs. Yesterday I got 1 terabyte, today I got 5 terabyte, tomorrow I'm going to get 10 terabyte. It is not like that. It is not like a static. So daily, the up and downs in the data inflow is happening. At that moment, better go as pay as you go model. In this way, you can choose your pricing models. Okay, finally, I'm going to click on this review plus create. Okay, I'm okay with all the basic details. Finally, click on create. Observe here. Rightmost of the browser, please observe. Deployment in progress, it is saying. Sir, please mute, sir. I will mute. So still process in progress. Okay, meanwhile, it is under progress. We will discuss one thing. Data Lake Analytics is offering two services for you. Number one, job as a service. Number two, cluster as a service. The first one meaning full form, job as a service. The second one, cluster as a service. So for the second one, example, you can say HD Insights. And for the first one, example, you can say USQL jobs. That means if any job is, I'm going to talk about only not cluster now. I'm going to talk about the first service. If any job is submitted, ADLA, that means Azure Data Lake Analytics uses AUs to process data. What is AU? Is an analytic unit. Okay. Simply a computing mission given by the Azure. Okay. Generally, what is the metric for this AU is 1 AU, generally 1 AU. This is exactly 6 to 7 months back information, not recent information. Recently, it might be changed. 1 AU equal to 6 GB RAM. And 2 core CPUs, 2 CPU cores for processing. But one thing here, how many AUs will be allocated for your job? That purely depends on the data volume and your job process. Okay. That means that depends on data volume. Data depends on the data volume and the job what you have triggered. Because it is this one, the JAS is supporting MPP. That means multiple parallel processes. Similar to Hadoop Spark kind of parallel processing, the data analytics service with name called JAS, it is offering you. It's not multiple, massive is a word. Massive parallel process. Okay. Suppose I have two in my data flow. I have the things like this. I have the task, my data flow is like this. Read data from file 1. Another flow is like this. Read data from file 2. And the third task is merge 2 files. Suppose if it is the task, this can be triggered by AU number 1. This can be executed by, when you submit the job, this can be executed by AU number 2. So this might be executed with AU 3. But the process of AU 1 and AU 2 might be parallel. These two things can be parallel. Finally, this job will be executed. This task will be executed. In this way, everything depends on the data flow, what you have defined. Automatically, AUs, analytic units will be allocated to execute your jobs. Okay. So let's check whether our analytic service is created or not. So all of you check this confirmation message. The deployment is successfully completed. I'm going back to that resource group. If you just click on go to resource, you will be back. Or else from scratch onwards, if you want to check, go to resource groups. What is the resource group we have created? That is demo storage. Demo storage is your resource group. In this, you have 2 resources, one analytics account, one storage account. Okay, now I have storage account. How to load your files into storage account? Let's check with this. I'm getting into Data Lake Storage Gen 1. My storage account name is ADL 700. Okay, so till now there are no files. If you want to upload any file, go to Data Explorer. Look at this top bar. In the third tab, there is upload option. Click on upload. But before uploading, one thing, let's create our own folder. By default, there will be 2 folders, catalog and system. Now I'm going to create my own folder. Here, the second option, new folder option is here. The folder name I'm giving as my data. Please check here, my data folder is created. Just enter into that. Here I don't have any files. Now I'm going to upload my files. Okay, already in my local system, I have some files. The files I'm copying like profiles. Just observe the process. The loading is completed. One more file I want to upload. Profiles 2. Suppose if you select a folder, entire folder, including subfolders, all the files of that folder will be uploaded into your current directory. Okay, one more last file I want to upload. A plane. Okay, go back to the storage and check it now. I come back to the demo storage, ADL 700. Get into Data Explorer. I have different directories here. Among them, my data is my folder recently what I have created. my data. All these are our files. You can check the content just by giving a click. Okay, like this. So in this way, you can apply. You can create your analytics content, analytics account and storage account. At the time of creating analytics account, it will ask you what is a storage account. Suppose if not existed, there is an option create new. Just click on create new and create a storage account for that. For now, I created a storage account Gen 1. Okay. Later we will see about Gen 2 and you will understand what is the difference between Gen 1 and Gen 2. Okay. So for few minutes, I will unmute you and please ask me questions.
Sir, hi, am I audible?
Hello, sir.
So actually, Azure has stopped the Gen 1
not at stopped, still available. Okay, still available, not at stopped. Okay. Yeah, only related questions, please, about this.
Are unable to make the storage.
I'm getting error. The resource type is not available in the specific location.
So try that resource type. So please select only if that is available in only in a few locations only.
I have selected the US one.
Okay.
Actually, whichever the resource group I have selected, but still I'm getting. I tried all the location, but still I'm getting same error.
I might be all the locations might be busy now. Okay. Please try after a few minutes. It will work out.
Thank you.
Free account or
free account?
Pay. Okay.
Why there is an only option of Gen 1 in the drop down? I mean,
pardon?
You are going to explain the difference between Gen 1 and Gen 2. But
yes.
While we are using while we were choosing storage account for the data lake analytics, there is only a option written as Gen 1 on the portal.
Yeah. Later I will explain how to create Gen 2 and how to use it into data lake analytics. Okay. There are ways. I will explain. Yeah.
Yeah. One more question.
Yeah, please.
So after creating the storage account, we could see the two default folders, right? So yeah,
yes.
Is that empty or anything else is there in the folder?
Definitely will be there. Please don't touch them. Okay. So later, what is the importance of those files? Like we will discuss.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, Sarah. Yeah.
Now that you uploaded 3 files, that means AU will be allocated automatically?
Here, remember, for this storage, there is no involvement of AU. All of you remember this. Only so what is where AUs will come into the picture in the job processing only. Okay, at the time of job processing. Okay, now let's start working with our USQL, how to read data and how to write into a target output file. Okay. Yeah.
Ashiram, I have one question.
Hello. So please keep the question in mind, sir. Please don't forget. I'm going to mute you all. Okay, come back to this one. So here demo storage is our resource group. Here I have 2 services, data analytics and data lake storage Gen 1. Now this time I am going to enter into analytics service, ADL 700. So till now, no jobs at triggered, sir. If you want to run create a job, here you have a new job option. Sample scripts options are there. You want to check with data, again, data explorer is there. Suppose you want to monitor all existed jobs, view all jobs option is there. In this way, different options that you have. Okay, for now, first time, I'm going to create my first job. I click on a new job. Give any job name. The job name, let's say J1. And here in this script area, you can type your script. Okay. For now, I will write a script, a sample script here. Suppose my file is a comma delimited file. Of course, the file format is .txt. Format is .txt with the comma separate, with the comma as delimiter. So later we will see if the delimiter is different other than comma, how to do that. So that concepts in tomorrow class I will explain. Okay. Suppose my file is profiles.txt. Please check the content of the file, how it is. Already we have uploaded that file into Lake. Please let me check with that. Okay, here check in Notepad, sir. Check this one. Is a text file, okay. But delimiters are comma, between fields, comma delimiter. Now the simple task what I am going to perform is, I want to read data. From file, that to the CSV, that is because comma is the separator. And I want to write into another file, which is TSV. That means a tab separated value I want. Read from this, write into TSV. This is the simple task I want to perform. What is the coding shape of this USQL? In USQL, you have 3 steps. Number 1, read. Number 2, transform. Number 3, write. These are the basic 3 steps. So for now, I'm going to suspend the second activity, which is transform. Only read and write I want to perform. For reading, observe the statement. Extract. Remember all of you, this is case sensitive. Okay. Extract. And you have to provide the schema for your file. Extract and then structure you need to give. Structure like same as database tables, so field name, data type, like that. Please check this file. I have totally 5 fields here. ID, name, salary, gender, and then department number. But luckily this file is not having any header. If the file has a header for the fields, how to deal, after a few minutes I will explain that one. So simply let's work with this plain file. So this is our file. I want to read this data. The first field is ID. The guidelines for you, field names given small letters, lowercase letters. ID, data type int I am giving. Name, string. Salary, int or long or float, anything. The fourth field is gender, string again. The last field, department number, which is int. So if it is the last field, after last field, don't give comma. Okay. So only structure you have specified. Another keyword now, from. The from should be in uppercase. What is the path of your file? Give the data lake path here. Okay. What is data lake path here? Already you created one folder. That is my data. Under that you have a file called profiles.txt. But file should be in the quotes, the two in the double quotes. If you give single quotes, it throws error. Okay. So two components you have specified. What should be extracted from what source file? Then what is the format of that file? That means what is the delimiter within the file for the fields? You have to specify that by using the keyword extractors. Extractors.csv. The C uppercase remaining all the things into lowercase, CSV. So here in bracket, some options will be there. What are those options? We will see later. The statement should be closed with semicolon. This is your first statement. Now my reading part will be completed during runtime. Okay. And second, the third activity I want to perform, I want to write it to TSV file. So here my activity read from CSV. And finally, I want to write into TSV, tab separated value. Okay, check here. To write the output, you have a separate statement, output. Okay. But one thing we forget here, one important thing. This is just extracting the data. The statement will extract the data, but you cannot use that data. To use that data, you have to declare, you have to assign the statement to one data object. For example, I am assigning here data equals to, @data equals to, and apply all these statements. From extractors. So this time I'm going to write this data into output. Output @data. Then what should be the target? To, by using the keyword to, and give the target file path. The path should be here. Say I'm going to create a new directory. Suppose if that directory is not existed, if directory not existed, it will create automatically. To results, under that, my first file is, let's say R1, r1.txt. Sorry, TSV. I want to write into this TSV. Okay. So in which format you want to write? Here you just specified only file name. In which format you want to write? For that, how you have extractors here, similarly you have outputters here. Outputters.tsv. On that way, how to specify. Only simply read and write as it is. You are not performing any transformation over here in the first job. Observe this. I'm going to execute this one. In the case of script area, I'm giving this script. I'm submitting this one. Here, all of you observe submit button. I'm submitting this job. So generally for a job, 4 phases will be there. Preparing phase, queued phase, running phase, and completion phase. The last one done is completed. That means termination phase. It will take time. So meanwhile, please look at this script. Try to understand what is happening here at each step. So here we have data types like int, string, still a lot of other data types are there. Tomorrow's session, I dedicate so completely all data types we will cover in tomorrow's session. Just today, I will show you some basic transformations into this. There might be some syntax error. In this line, there is some error. Correct, spelling correct. Extractors.csv. Sorry, you also check. I unmuted you. Any mistake I did?
I think using
keyword. Yes.
Is missing.
Using keyword.
Using missed. Correct. Super, sir. You are using extractors.csv. Again, I need to wait for another 2 minutes to execute this.
And semicolon also, I think.
Semicolon I have given here.
At the last output.
Last, yes. So there are IDEs also. I will explain about IDEs also.
And one more thing, using outputters also.
Outputters using. Yeah, here these two major things we missed it. Using. This also the keyword using also should be in uppercase. Yeah.
R1.tsv. I think it is
R1.txt, not TSV.
I want to write into TSV. Okay, I want to write into, so input is this one, but I want to write into this TSV. Okay. Now, once again. J2. Submit.
So a quick question. Don't we have option to edit in a same job?
Yes, we have. There is an option called use script, reuse script. Because their letters will be small, that's why I'm coming into this notepad. And you can use IDEs, even Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code you can use for this. So remember all of you, in Visual Studio Code, there is a plugin called Azure Data Lake. So if you add that plugin without Azure subscription, you can practice the scripts.
Namaskar. Let us unitedly work to stop further spread of COVID-19 in our country.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Okay.
Yes, I muted. Please check our job status. All of you observe on the left side, Preparing phase, queuing phase completed, now running phase. Okay, all the things completed. All phases completed. Just check your storage now. So actually previously we did not create this results directory. Now within this results, r1.csv file is generated. Okay. So this is just one simple read and simple write. No transformations or no filters over here. Generally in the third activity, you need to perform filters or, for example, one job. Okay. So this is script 1. Later I will give you this entire notes after completion of the session. In script 2, I want to write only mails data. Only mails into your file. That means you are going to apply a filter. Okay. As it is the same data I'm copying. Sir, remember, in the case of USQL, you have an option to create your own database. You can create your own tables, views, similar to the database only. But for now in this session, I'm not going to do that one. In tomorrow's session, we will dedicate for more operations. So here I'm going to apply some filter. Already I extracted this data and kept into this data object. Now I'm going to reuse that. I'm going to work with the data object. So this time I'm giving my data object name as mails. I want to keep only the mails. Okay. This data object is acting as a table. You can compare with a view. All SQL statements that you can apply on that. That means all select related SQL statement you can apply on that one. Now the first initial statement I am applying. This statement also should be in uppercase, remember. Select star from the table here, the data object, data. I want to apply some filter. Where? What is the field name for gender? Gen equals to the condition you are giving. Yum. Similarly, at the same time, I want to split this data. Males into separate file, females into separate file. I want to split the file into two separate based on the given condition. One more object here, I am creating fems equal to, doing the same query. Select star from data, where Zend equals to female. Okay. Here I have one output statement. Instead of giving one output statement, I will give two output statements. All mails I want to write into a separate file. Let's say the file name is mails.txt. I want comma delimited. And one more file. All females I want to write into separate file. Output fems. To give the different file name. Let's say fems.txt. Same as CSV. Okay. I'm going to execute this job now. But again, job execution will take time. During that execution time, we will be expanding another scenario. So going to data lake analytics, triggering a new job now. My job name is MF. Same script I'm giving here. Simply activity, you separated data into two separate data sets, data objects, males and females, and you are writing male separately, writing female separately. So for this job, input file is one, but outputs are two separate files. A submit one. Okay. Come to the script 3, sir. Meanwhile, previous job will be processing. Let's talk about script 3. I want to apply merge. After a few minutes, I will come back and we will discuss more about these filters. Okay, here one simple condition we have given. What are all the different other options for the filters we will see. So after completion of this job, the third job we will see. Actually, we have two separate files. One is profiles. Second one is profiles 2. So please check the data of those files. Okay, here previous job almost under running phase. Please wait for this. Okay, all phases completed for your second job. How many output files we are expecting, sir? How many output files we are expecting? 2 separate output files. Okay, check this. Under results, you will find 2 output files. One is males and second one is females. If you look at this, only males data is available. Okay. And if you check FAMS, only females data is available. But as it is, you have written this data, but you did not perform any transformations. Okay, if you look at the second file also. Okay, let's check the second file. In my Explorer, under my data. All of you observe this schema of profiles. ID, name, salary, gender, department number. And look at second file also, which is profiles2.txt. Same schema available, but rows are different. That means what I want to say is, as a third job, for these 2 files, schema say, case 1. In this case, how to match? Let's talk it as a case number 1. The case 1 is there are multiple input files, but schema is same. In the second case, what we are going to do is we take multiple files, but schema will be different. At the time, how to deal that? What are the techniques we need to follow? We will see. So come to the script. As easily from previous script, I am copying initial statement. This extract statement I am copying. Input file same. Let's say object name is data1. And one more statement I am going to give here. That is data 2. But file input file name is 2, profiles 2. Okay, it's for first file and it's for second file. But when you submit this job, it depends on availabilities of analytic units AUs. Maybe first AU take care of this one, this operation, second AU take care of this operation. Both operations can be run parallelly. Okay, not one after one. So here I'm going to merge. Think that my merge content is merge. Merge equals to get data from this one. Simply I'm saying select star from the table name, which is data 1. @data 1. I'm not applying any filter because I want all the rows. Union. Union means it will combine rows of first table and rows of second table. Including duplicates I want. Then you have to say union all. The next query, select star from @data 2. So still if you have other file, again, after that you have to say union all and give the third query. Okay, I have only 2 files. That's why only 2 statements. So finally, this content I want to write into the output. Observe here. The output statement I am taking from previous. The output, this merged content I want to write. That's why @merge. Let's say file name is all profiles. Still, I want it as a CSV only. Okay, now I'm going to run this job now. Where we are. Trigger a new job. So this time job name I'm giving merge, keeping the same code. Okay, sir, it will take time. So before its execution completed, we go for another explanation. Now still same task. Activities match, but case 2, schema different. The schema is different here. For example, I have a file 1, sir. I have a file 1. The schema I have name, this is schema. In file 2, the schema ID, name, gender, department number, and then salary. Schema got changed. Think that still file 3 is available. Okay, file 3 is available. Here ID, name, city, department number, salary. Observe here, in the first 2 files, the field city is not available. Okay. In the third file, gender not available. Now I want to merge this data without any mismanipulations. Can anyone please explain me? Please guide me how to deal this situation. I will unmute you. Please explain me. Anyone, please.
In merge statement,
replace wherever you don't find any columns, you can replace it with nulls and then merge. Yeah.
Nulls or any constant, your wish. What you said is correct. Okay.
Instead of select star, we have to specify column names.
Yes. Yes. Then what about schema order different?
We can give the one order.
Yeah,
we can select the column name.
So in this case, definitely you should not go for the star. Okay.
Yes.
See.
Yeah, we can select the column name.
Yeah. So only already you know extract statement, sir. Already you know extract statement, you know output statement. Okay. So I'm not going to do that one. Okay. I will do that one for you. Just only copy. So this is the first.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah,
like
please.
for this less volume of data, why it is taking so much of time?
So it is not taking so much of time because the triggering of your data, the triggering of our job to Azure source resources only taking time. Once it came to the running phase, automatically the execution will be faster. Because
so
meanwhile,
there is any particular only the Azure resources are taking time due to some reasons or something, whatever reason we have.
Yeah, basically most of people are submitting their jobs because we are submitting jobs only for practice purpose. Okay.
But in real time, we'll be loading the lakhs of crores of records. So
yes.
So in that case, it will take a lot of time, right?
Not a lot of time. Remember, only the first two parts only. Suppose if here you have only 5 records, for 5 records, how much time is taken? For 5 crore records also, that much time will be taken.
Sir, one more thing. In the case of int, if there is any suppose if there is any character, so how to differentiate that bad records?
So can you please explain?
So there is a first column ID, right? In that ID, suppose there is a character like A or something. So in that case, how to differentiate that bad records?
So nothing. It will return you as NA. NA means not available. NA. N/A. It will give it will replace that number value because you said for ID int, right?
Yeah.
So in that moment, the value will be replaced with NA.
Right?
Yeah. So later about data cleaning, we will discuss later, sir. So please.
How would it know which is the first column, which is the second column?
Because you are specifying schema, right?
Where?
You are specifying schema right here.
Correct. So always it takes the first column as the integer. Let us suppose my first column, second column, both are integers.
Yeah, because in our data, first of all, at the time of reading data, sir, please listen. At the time of reading data, first of all, you have to understand data.
Right.
Okay. 1 minute. I will mute. First of all, you have to understand your data. According to your understanding, you have to give schema. Okay. System by itself cannot understand any schema. So you said comma delimiter. How many commas are here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 commas. 4 commas means 5 fields. If there is 1 comma, 2 fields. Okay. 4 commas, 5 fields. And already you specified the order of the schema. That's why always for first one as ID, second one as name, like this it will treat. For example, in the 4th row, if you give some other value, even though some other value is there, it is understanding this this Hyderabad city as a ID only. Got it? So first of all, you have to, this SQL is only for structured data. What do you mean by structure? Whatever the pattern you have for the first record, same pattern for second record, same pattern for all the records. That is what the meaning of structure. Got it? If data is unstructured, definitely SQL is not the solution for that. Okay. So we have to think for different solutions. Okay. Now come back to this scenario. This scenario, I'm talking at this one where we are. Let me take copy of that data. I think already I have taken. Think that I have file 1. File 2. The second file is file 2. But for the file 2, the schema is different. What is that schema? We thought ID name, gen, department number, and salary. ID name, gen, last but one, department number. The last one is salary. Okay. And I'm going to read data from the last file, which is file 3. But here there is an additional column. What is that column? We said ID name city. That means gender not available here, city available. Now I want to merge these 3 files. Here data object, data 3. I want to merge. This time previous technique will not work out. Okay. Previous technique will not work out, because you cannot directly use the star. Let's say my dataset name is match. Don't use the word dataset, data object. I'm going to work with the file. First file. So what I want is ID, name, gender. No. Salary, department number. And then, okay, gender and department number. But third file additionally is having city. But I don't have city in the first. Replace that value. So provide some constant value for that. The constant value here I'm giving as a no city. Some constant, any constant, null or no city, any other value. But for every column, there should be an alias. To specify the alias, the keyword is as. I'm taking city. Observe here. If I say my statement like this from data 1. Okay, now my data 1 is having how many fields? Name, salary, gen, department number, all previous 5 fields. Additionally, one new field called the city. But don't close it by semicolon. Union all. Now this time, a statement to read data from second. Select ID, name, salary, gen, department number. Of course, in the second file, order is different, but we are neutralizing that order same as first one. Whatever the order we have given for the first query, same order remaining queries need to follow. But still in the second file also, there is no value called city. That's why I'm supplying some constant value, no city, as city from @data. Data 2 this time. The last query, again union all. Sorry. Select ID, name, salary. But gender is not available in the third file. Okay. Gender not available, but city available. So here I am giving no, or simply I am replacing with star. The person who did not avail with information of gender, the value is star here. As alias name I am setting here, the fourth field is gender. Give the same alias as gender. After that, next field should be department number, and next field should be a city. City already available. Okay. From table name @data3. So this is the technique. If input files have different schemas, and to merge those files, all those different files into one single file. Because think that you have different branches from different servers. Think that this is for Indian branch, this is for American branch, this is for Europe branch. Okay, the ETL developers, by using ADF, they have extracted this data. Okay, from source number 1, source number 2, source number 3. Finally, I want to perform analytics over entire data. That's why I need to merge it. I'm merging by using this technique. Okay, so no special technique, only SQL techniques only. So finally, what are the output you want to write it? You can write that output. So the output statement I am taking here. Let's say this time my file name is all branches. All branches.txt. A format should be as CSV. Okay. So in this way, different schemas that do in some file, some fields are available, in some files, some fields are not available. But only complexity here is, here in our classroom work, we are working with only 5 fields. But if you touch real-time data, how many fields will be there? Maybe in some biggest files there, you will find even more than 1,000 files only. At that moment, this is not the right solution. Okay, so definitely I will touch that solution. I will bring that topic and how to deal huge files. We will see later. Okay, especially in the Databricks area, I will show you that one. All of you, just I'm unmuting you. Then we go for a break. 1 minute, all of you keep on the line.
Hello, sir. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Is there any way we can define a schema or column name or header for the output files also?
Yes, output files also we can. I will explain step by step. Everything I will explain.
Okay. And in the data folder, portal, there is a one cost return 2.4 rupees per minute.
Yeah.
So it is only time cost or preparing the queue times also included?
No. Remember this point. The cost is only for running time only, not for preparing and not for queued.
Okay.
Only for running.
Hello, sir. I think I missed something. When I'm creating resource group, it's asking me to create an account.
Okay.
So
no, sir. Just only create resource group. Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Later, after completion of the class, like we will discuss about that.
Yeah. It's asking me to create a free account.
Earlier,
Sir, one question.
2 rupees.
Sir,
That
is
thing,
that
right?
possible?
So, for example,
is that possible to schedule the job?
Excuse me.
Yes, sir. Already previous person, please ask one by one.
So let us suppose you said that the charge is only for the running time, for the preparation is not. Okay. For example, you are a good developer, I'm a bad developer because I'm very much new into this industry.
Yeah.
I wrote a very bad query, but end of the day it will give the result output. Maybe in 1 hour it may give you.
Yes.
That means it will charge for entire 1 hour.
Yes. Why not?
Okay. Maybe this may be the one of the important questions in.
Yes.
So how to
optimize? How to optimize your code? How to optimize your scripts? There are different techniques we need to follow.
Okay.
So as journey goes, definitely you will get grip over that one.
Okay.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
Sir, while demonstrating, you uploaded file from front end that was just. So in real time, there will be files of terabyte size. So how to upload that files to
there are migration tools also there. Okay, in Azure there are data migration tools are there. We can, by using those tools, you can easily upload. Okay, later, so those scenarios just forget.
What is the use?
Pardon?
Performance is actually calculated or given based on our licensing purchased, or for real time it will be performance will be a different cost or something like that.
Yeah, different cost will be there, because in real time, generally for my batch jobs, what I do is I go for like hundreds of AUs. I go for hundreds of clusters like that.
Okay, since this is a trial version, it is also taking some time, right?
Of course, it's a trial, but it is as a pay as a model. But I am using because if I need more AUs, I need to put separate request to the Microsoft.
Okay, even you are paying and it is slow, showing bit slow.
Yeah.
So if we use trial version, it will be more slower than your license version, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is channelized. I mean, performance is channelized based on the free trial and purchased and licensed, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Hello, sir. So
performance at AU level. So what is the use case of this uSQL in the real time?
Nothing, sir. Now, after Databricks entered into Azure, uSQL is going to be replaced completely with the Databricks. Okay. First, as a beginning step, we are learning this one. Okay. Later, whatever USQL you are doing, whatever the complexities you are facing there, because there are some limitations. But when you step into the Databricks, it will cross all the limitations of USQL. Okay. So mostly in real time, you'll be using Databricks. Sir, all of you, shall we take a break? Hello? Oh, and I unmuted you, sir.
Yes. Sir, last one question. Sir.
Yes, sir. Please. Break after break. Relax. So by 9:05, I will rejoin, sir. Please don't mind. So now the time is 8:38. Max by 9 or 9 between 9 to 9:05, I will join. Same link. Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you.